a good Monday afternoon to you. Welcome to the Oil Stream, presented by Boston Pizza. Mute your computer over there, Trev. Thank you, sir. Matt Iwanyk, YouTube Trev, Hernan quickly on the other side of the camera here on the Oil Stream, as we've got you covered today. The B team.
Yes, we do.
Has been called, well, C team.
We're
no
the C
offense to
team?
you. Well, we've had Reed do
so.
this show. We've had Hernan do this show.
Yes.
Tommy, Dusty.
This is the A team.
Yes.
Anything with Iwanyk is the A team.
I agree.
Let's not get carried away there. Let's not get carried away.
EH.
Today is, we're getting through the holidays. We're getting towards New Year's all together here.
There we are.
And it's a wonderful room, a wonderful vibe in the office today. Very workman a little bit, actually, though. Not going to lie.
It's been very lovely. Started the day strong, producing the Nielson show with Lieutenant Eric, and there was no Nielson or Lieutenant Eric. It was Matt Iwanyk
and Dave Jameson.
Mr.
How
Jameson.
was it working with Dave Jameson? Like, you've met Dave because he's been in for the Hangout a few times.
Yes, he has.
But you've never worked with Dave. Today you got 3.5 hours of working with Dave. How was it for you?
I will say it was terrific. It was pretty cool. I told my dad last night, I said, I'm working with Dave Jameson tomorrow. And he was like, oh, that's really cool. And he actually said, he was like, he's a real nice guy. He's a real nice guy, my dad said. So that was pretty cool. But I come in and he calls me Tube. He says, Tube, how are you? And I'm like, oh, that's me. And he shook my hand. That was surreal.
The YouTube. Tube.
Yeah. So that was great. It was great getting to produce the show. You guys, I had a sense that you worked together for some few years, hey?
We've had a few years together.
And I could tell because you guys just it was fun. I had a lot of fun. I was laughing behind the monitors. And then it was a great show. I had a lot of fun. But he's just a pro. And I love what Shager had to say at the end of that radio Edmonton. We need to hear that guy talk a lot more. So, it was fun.
It was very enjoyable for me to have Dave
pro.
back.
He's a pro's pro.
He just settles it. He hasn't done hosting in probably a year.
Couldn't tell.
And he just got right in.
Yeah.
Need to get him better headphones maybe because they kept falling out of his ear.
Yes, they did.
But we had a good time and we had some good laughs, some tears. Okay. Not really. See you, Hernan. Go have fun getting. I'll talk to you later to figure out what's on the show.
The Tube and the Coob. And the Nasty Chat. I like that.
Dave was always the guy that gave out the nicknames at the old place.
Oh, okay.
For all of our interns, it was always a moment of within like the first couple of weeks. At some point, Dave would say something, and we're like, "That's the nickname. That sticks."
Yep.
So you would have been the Tube forever.
Did he have a nickname?
No,
Just
all of us never had nicknames. Like I didn't really have a nickname. It was just the interns.
Oh, okay.
They'd come in, they'd get those nicknames,
and
like that's why Zacticum when he came in, Dusty took it on. He gave him Zacticum. And it was like, okay, that sticks. But before, it was always Dave would finally figure out something, or he would say something like, that's the one. That's the one. So, Tube. But initially, when he first said Tube, I think, Tube, sorry, like, did he get your name wrong?
Yeah,
And then it hit me.
Lots
YouTube.
of variations. You got YTT, you got Trev, YouTube Trev, Tube, the Tube.
I might have to start going with Tube a little bit now.
I kind of like Tube.
Because, Dave also said it.
Yeah.
And if Dave says it, it's like, it's...
YTT.
It's got a lot for me there.
Yeah, and it was cool. And then he complimented my first update. And I appreciated that because you said he was pretty stern. Or he
could be.
He could be. But he didn't have to be with
it's
me.
one of the, like, if he screwed up a name or something. Now, you'd have to, like, I don't think he'd come at you on day one, maybe.
No.
But if he screwed up a name, although he had that name he dropped later.
Yeah.
Which I'm not even going to attempt to try to say again.
Yeah. And I think he was being nice because I was told afterwards that I said the Oilers are going to continue their road trip. But guess what?
They're back home.
Tomorrow.
Well.
Usually I get caught on those.
They continued their road trip. They had to travel to Edmonton.
Yep. Yeah, that's true.
I'll defend you on that one.
Thank you.
We'll go with that.
I swear I said they were on the road, but whatever.
I've got some breaking news from the National Hockey League.
Actually,
can I? Does this mouse work?
Breaking.
Because I gotta see. Does this one? Oh, it is working.
Turn it on.
Because I think we get the spicy headlines.
This is a good one.
For Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen, which right now, if you head to Popeye's, and it's open. Unlike when I was talking about this during the morning show, it is now opened. This is new. Their website's changed. You can get 2 chicken sandwiches. 2 chicken sandwiches. Guess how much?
$8.
Damn right.
Serious?
2 chicken sandwiches for $8 right now at Popeyes. Limited time only. As they say on their website, you're not seeing double. It is double. That's 2 for $8. Only at Popeyes. Spicy headlines. NHL waivers. Jesse Puljujarvi on waivers. Pittsburgh Penguins place him on waivers.
That is interesting. We're missing Dustin Nielson to break this down. But looking at the stats right now, Jesse Puljujarvi, 21 games played, 3 goals, 5 assists, good enough for 8 points and a -2 on the season. We all saw at the beginning of the season, Jesse Puljujarvi, the preseason god, if you will. He just shows up in the preseason. You always saw that here in Edmonton. And, we were just like, why could this be? And then you look at he's playing with lesser talent. And then the NHL season starts. And there you go. He's on waivers. So feel bad because I remember we maybe brought it up a few times on the Nielsen show this year. We discussed that this is the redemption tour of Jesse Puljujarvi. Things are finally going to turn around for the Finnish player. And we were wrong. So there's that.
Question is...
Oh, don't say it. Don't say it.
Does the return happen? Do the Oilers claim Jesse Puljujarvi? Hernan's pumped.
He makes McDavid better.
He makes McDavid better. Turn your mic on and say that so people can hear what you said there.
What do you have to say about this?
Well, doesn't he make McDavid better? That's what the analytics crew says. So let's go. Bring him home.
Bring him home.
It's not like the Oilers have any guys in the top 6 that are struggling to produce points, right? Like, what's one more?
There's potentially 2 spots in that top 6 still open.
Let's go.
Maybe Jesse Puljujarvi here in Edmonton is the answer.
Vamos.
He needed the time away to come back and produce.
Yep. My phone is just getting lit up right now. Jesse Puljujarvi.
Wow.
Jesse Puljujarvi.
Okay, let's be serious, so no. If anyone on the Nazi Jets actually being serious, no.
Wow, just raining on the parade there.
I don't know.
Okay,
no.
Thanks, Hernan. Just to ruin the fun.
You know what? I hate to be the annoying guy that agrees.
Oh, okay, cool.
But I agree.
Oh.
The time is done. The time is end for Jesse Puljujarvi in the NHL. If he gets picked up, like what are you going to get? You know what you're going to get now. You're going to get a
30-goal scorer.
30-goal scorer. Oh, I don't know about that, but yeah, I mean, he does the little things right.
No.
Hey, Hernan?
The real question is, does anyone pick him up?
Ugh.
That's actually the real question here. Is there a team out there that's actually going to pick up Jesse Puljujarvi?
It didn't work in Carolina. They thought maybe the Finnish connection, because obviously Sebastian Aho, Jesse Puljujarvi, Patrick Laine just lit it up in the World Juniors, which we will be discussing at the end of the show. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, that didn't work out. So I wonder this. What
it's
about
$800,000.
the Canadiens, the Montreal Canadiens? Maybe a redemption tour with Patrick Laine. You heard it here first. They need some goal scorers. They need a big body. I wonder if that would happen.
So he's got 8 points in 21 games this season with the Pittsburgh Penguins. Last year, had 4 points in 22 games with the Pittsburgh Penguins. This season,
he's on pace for...
he started off strong. When we talked about, when I mentioned there...
32 points he's on pace for.
Yeah, but I'm just looking at this. He had a 5 straight game point streak in his 2nd through 6th game of the season.
Yeah,
you take that away. Since then, his last 15 games. In his last 15 games, so Puljujarvi started with 5 points in 6 games. In his last 15 games, he's got 3 points, 2 goals, and an assist.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll say I think someone takes him. I think there's a potential shot. Somebody low-level team. It's $800,000. What really is going to hurt you?
I think so too. I think someone could pick him up. But I feel like the answers are pretty clear now. You know what you're going to get in this player. The hope is gone with him. I know, even at the rumblings at the beginning of the season was, who knows? Maybe you see in certain cases where a player can turn things around. And that was being discussed earlier this season, but I feel like those are no longer being discussed. You know what you got in this player, and some people have said that for a long time, not Dustin Nielson.
I'm looking at the bottom of the standings. What if you're the Buffalo Sabres? You are terrible at player, identifying talent. You've let talent go. You need to do some things there. You got a player who seems to not work. Maybe 2 negatives make a positive here. Maybe this is a case where Jesse Puljujarvi, we know what he is, goes to a situation that isn't really good itself, and maybe it ends up being a flourishing spot. If you're the Buffalo Sabres, what do you have to lose?
That's what I was just going to say. You don't have anything to lose, and like even for Jesse's case, like he has all to prove, and like what better way to do that than being placed on a team that just has no answers to anything. So, you know what, Maddie, maybe I'll entertain that. I don't mind that idea. But I still like the idea of him being reunited with Patrick Laine. I feel like for the Habs, maybe. Right shot. Could Laine have some guidance?
This is one of those you look at the bottom of the standings because they get first priority. And you look at those teams and go, who might take the claim?
Yeah.
After that, the other 2/3 of the team, they're not touching him.
No.
There's no playoff team touching Jesse Puljujarvi.
No.
There's no team that's on the bubble that's really touching Jesse Puljujarvi.
St. Louis Blues.
I did joke and jest about the idea of the Oilers claiming him.
St. Louis Blues, maybe? Calgary Flames?
Why?
I don't know. Why not?
Because
Like you said, there's nothing to lose.
But you're wasting a roster spot then for a team that, like, for the Blues and the Flames, there is something to lose. The Flames are still holding off to a playoff hopes. Do I think they're going to hold on by the end of the season? No. But they are only 1 point back of a playoff spot. Mm-hmm. As for the St. Louis Blues, they're a few more points back, but they're only 4 points back of a playoff spot.
Yeah.
You're not using a roster spot in Jesse Puljujarvi to try to claw yourself in a playoff spot. That's the sad reality for him.
No, that's fair. Wherever he does go, I wish him nothing but the best. You like heard like that one.
Lieutenant Eric in the nasty chat.
Oh.
Or not in the nasty chat, sorry, on Twitter. Just quote tweeted with bring him home.
Bring him home. If LT wants him, so do I.
Wouldn't it be something if this happens?
Could you imagine?
Oh, 2 guys in a goalie tomorrow. Myself, Gager, and Cass. Won't be much else to talk about if that's the case.
The return of the Bison King. That's that'd be something. Yeah, I don't know. There's no way. I don't buy it. I don't see it. But yeah, like I said, wherever he does go, where do you think he's going to go? Jesse Puljujarvi. Drop a comment down below.
780-218-9999, or you could jump into the nasty chat to Tango earlier.
San Jose.
Wow, Hernan, way to wreck our Monday just for coming in and saying no to Puljujarvi.
Yeah, so. That's very rude.
You jumped out. You defended Hernan right away. I'm throwing you in there too, Trev.
I did.
I stood there a little bit longer. I held out hope a little bit longer. This is Popeye's Louisiana Chicken spicy headlines. Let's get to the Oilers from the last 2 days. They lost in LA in overtime. They lost yesterday in Anaheim. Your just takeaway from those games, Mr. YouTube Trev or Tube.
You call me Tube. Yes.
Tube. I gotta try to remember that, Tube.
Oh man, like it's tough. Like I'm not gonna entertain the idea of the Oilers. Is there trouble in paradise? Are they doomed? I'm not gonna entertain that because it's 2 games that they could have won, they should have won, and they didn't. So that's just the way the dice rolls, unfortunately. But the Kings game, yeah, at that one, whatever. That's a really good team. They lost fair and square, whatever. But I kind of just want to talk about the Ducks loss more than anything, and just some issues that are kind of becoming apparent. And Reed tweeted about it yesterday. 29 and 97, or not to have 29 and 97. That's kind of, we'll discuss that a little bit more. But just initial thoughts and like just too pretty, way too pretty. And you see this at times when the Oilers play lesser talent. They can really just play a complete game, but I feel like they get away from that more often than none. And I feel like that was on full display yesterday. I can't, just the odd man rushes alone. Like, this is the Anaheim Ducks. You've got Radko Gudas, your captain. And you just look at the defense. There were so many odd man rushes the Oilers had, and they couldn't capitalize. And Stolarz has, I'm not going to say he has the Oilers numbers, but I will say I was in attendance for the Ducks 2-1 win. Stolarz, I think it was his NHL debut, and he got if you know, it was a matinee 2 years ago. And I was at the game, and it sucked. Yeah, not fun at all. So I think it came down to them being too pretty and just passing. And there's a stat that I kind of want to highlight here. And this is kind of what I'm getting at. But shots on goal by Oilers forwards versus Anaheim Ducks yesterday. This is courtesy Bruce McCurdy on Twitter. He's a good follow. Go check him out. We got Leon Draisaitl, 4 shots yesterday. McDavid, Connor McDavid, the best player in the world, 2 shots. That's after he went shotless in the game against the Kings. No shots in that game, but he did get two shots this game. He missed wide on a couple opportunities as well. Matthias Janmark, Zach Hyman, Victor Arvidsson, 1 shot each. Like, come on. And then to finish things off, Derek Ryan, Henrique, Brown, Kapanen, Perry, Podkolzin, RNH, all zip, 0. Total shots from Oilers forwards yesterday, 9 against the freaking Anaheim Ducks. Are you kidding me? Like, come on. They that just shows that they're way too passive. Just looking at those stats, it tells me that they're way too passive and they're trying to be too pretty. They're not playing simple hockey. And at times for the Oilers, when they just stick to the fundamentals and play simple hockey, they outweigh their opponent. And you can outweigh the Anaheim Ducks by playing simple hockey. And the Ducks are going to give up their opportunities. And they did. And unfortunately, they didn't capitalize on some of those opportunities that the 9 shots the Oilers forwards did have. But I think it really just all comes down to just taking it easy and just trying to be too pretty for me. So that's my thoughts on yesterday's game.
The Oilers had won 7 straight against the Anaheim Ducks.
Or is that? Yes.
So this isn't a situation to me where like I am one that believes that eventually you're kind of due. I will read more into if the Oilers happen to lose the Anaheim Ducks coming up this Friday.
Yeah.
They play this team right away here.
Yeah.
I would expect, there is the game in between. You got Utah tomorrow coming into town. The Oilers closing out this road trip here in Edmonton.
Yes, they do. That's what I said earlier today.
But we've got, didn't we talk about that on air?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, okay, just making sure. Because otherwise I don't want to call you out for that if we didn't talk about that on air. But I think we did.
I definitely brought that up.
The Ducks, if they have a lackluster game on Friday, then it's like, hey, what's going on with this team? Like, why 2 games against the Ducks? I could chalk off one. Got a couple of people in the nasty chat saying flush this game. Penner's Pancake
Flush
saying, and I agree with that mostly. Like if you zoom out from the Oilers' month of December, I had it in the morning. Did I write on my notes? 8-3-1.
8-3-1
in the month of December.
Sign me up all day for that, Matty.
That's a solid month. You'll take that any month. You're going to have losses. They're going to occur. We'll see what happens tomorrow. You can maybe make it 9-3-1 through the month of December. Even 8-4-1. Let's say they lose tomorrow. An 8-4-1 for the month. Awesome. Now start it up again fresh in January. But you also look at the schedule coming up for the Edmonton Oilers. Utah tomorrow. Ducks Friday. Kraken on Saturday. Bruins Tuesday. Penguins Thursday. Blackhawks Saturday. Soft schedule.
These are their games to win.
There's points to be had here for the Edmonton Oilers.
Points to be had and points that I mean, they kind of need, but they should want these, and theoretically they should get the majority of these. Like, we'll preview tomorrow's game against the Utah Hockey Club, but yeah, you saw the faces, and there was like a 10-second camera shot they had of Leon Draisaitl after yesterday's loss, and you could tell he was pissed. Like, they knew that they should have had that one for sure. And so, you know what? It's in the past. Don't fret. It's water under the bridge. And they move on to Utah, but these are points that they should get, they can get, and they should get. And it all starts tomorrow. But I mean, yeah, like if they lose to the Ducks, I think it's more just like the Oilers beating themselves. And I'm still not like buying into, should you be worried? No, you should not be worried. They lost to the Ducks. Yeah, that sucks. But I just watched them play some of the best hockey over the last 2 years. And mentioned this, the game that they had against the New York Rangers. Yes, the New York Rangers are absolutely slumping right now. But a team that has just had their number for years, the Minnesota Wild, and just a complete effort. Like, you're telling me, like, the Oilers, they're that team. They are not the team that we saw yesterday. So a few things they can tune up, and they should be able to put on another streak here.
I got to correct something from Popeye's Spicy Headlines with Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen. I was on the wrong website for Popeye's. I was on the American website.
That makes sense why we said it looks different.
Unboxing season. This holiday season, 4-piece signature chicken, 4-piece tenders, 4-piece regular sides, and 4 biscuits. It's the unboxing season over at Popeye's. So apologize. It's not 2 for $8. 2 chicken sandwiches.
I guessed it, but I was wrong.
You nailed it. You were correct on the price.
Thank you.
I was on the wrong Popeyes website. I wasn't on the popeyeschicken.ca website for the Canadian website. So apologies on that. Thank you to Dosh Chazard And the nasty chat saying something wasn't correct, and I had to go fix that. Matt Iwanyk, YouTube Trev with you here on the Oil Stream right here on Edmonton Sports Talk, live on TuneIn, iHeartRadio, EdmontonSportsTalk.com, on YouTube, and wherever you get your podcasts. If there is one thing, though, that I think Oiler fans have a right to be a little more concerned about and not just flush away. You talked about it there, I don't know how you worded it to me for the show, to have 29 and 97 or not to have 29 and 97 or however you put that. But it's no one, and you brought up the tweet Reed had yesterday after the Oilers loss. And there's 6 forward spots in the top 6, and no one has grabbed that 5 and 6 spot. No one has really claimed it, especially for the Edmonton Oilers this year. And then that's now becoming a tiny bit of a concern, and that leads us to Jeff Skinner there.
Jeffrey.
Healthy scratched yesterday, $3 million, no move clause, so it's not an easy thing to just move on from. Rashok brought up an interesting point today, saying sometimes going to a new location, it could be difficult. And he brought up maybe, and then now it's injury from bio, it's a little bit different in that sense. But Connor Brown last year didn't produce. A lot of people, including myself, saying he should have been sent down. He shouldn't have even saw Game 10 at the time that he saw Game 10, but ultimately produced in the playoffs when it mattered.
Yeah.
Could we see that with Jeff Skinner?
Well,
do you believe any
I'd
of that?
like to say that his playoff record would say yes, but he has actually never been in the playoffs, and he is holds an NHL record for most games played with not playing in the playoffs. So that hurts. There's a couple things you can really look at that. I don't know. Like Connor Brown last year didn't score his first goal till like 2/3 in the way into the season. It was like game 50. And he had a few healthy scratches, but like Jeff Skinner, you look what he's been able to do, and that's where I kind of lean towards that there's something that we just are not seeing there, and it has to be in the locker room. There has to be a dynamic. There has to be something going on because yes, his stats right now do not scream out at you, and I mean I guess they do for maybe the wrong reason. 6 goals, 6 assists, 12 points. -11, 35 games played. So he's on pace for just under 30 points, I guess, for this season. But like from what I've seen, I don't know. I don't think I've seen way more from Jeff Skinner than I have Derek Ryan. I have. I don't know. I don't think he deserved to be a healthy scratch, and I know a lot of people might disagree with that, but I think he's a solid player. And you look at what he's been able to do. He's had no power play time. He's been in the bottom 6. And it's like they've given him no time at all in the top 6. Like even to start the season, even in preseason, it looked bad. But then he was the first Oiler to score the goal this season, and everyone's, okay, maybe it's good. And at the beginning of the season, he was. I don't know if people remember this, but he was like the most consistent Oiler. Yes, there was no consistency for offense. The Oilers couldn't buy a goal. But it was Jeff Skinner at the beginning of the season. So I really do think that he could be an effective player in the playoffs. You see some glimpses, Matty, small glimpses of his game and why he was an effective player for the Sabres, for the Hurricanes. This guy put up 82 points just 3 seasons ago, 63 points the season prior. Like he knows how to score goals. He knows he's a 40-goal scorer. He knows how to put the puck in the net. So you have to think that's still there. And one thing, I'll just finish with this. I remember when Ralph Kruger was coaching the Sabres, he was a healthy scratch, and then he wasn't. And then he was a healthy scratch. And then, should we send him to the minors? And then they never did. But he came back, and he had an 82-point season, like the next season. Like, it's interesting. So there is that. Maybe they're, the hockey, ops, they might have known of this. Maybe that'll spark something in Jeff Skinner. They'll be like, this is what he needs to just sit a game. And look at maybe what he can or can't do. But I think he deserves a shot. Personally, I'd give him a shot in the top 6. I don't think he's a bottom 6 player. And that's kind of where I'm at.
A couple comments in the nasty chat. Penner's Pancakes agreeing with you on that, saying it's done more than Ryan, and Zulu adding, the Oilers mismanage a player. Never happens. Jodes brings up an interesting point. That's kind of refreshing my memory. It came from day one when Knobloch basically said he didn't want him on the team. And there was a clip from one of those Oilers shows that they have on Oilers Plus. There was a clip in there. And I think the Chris Knobloch was like against signing a player, and everyone pointed to was like, that's Jeff Skinner he's talking about with the way the clip was edited and stuff. That may be to the point where you go, there's something else to this. Maybe this is just the case of there's a coach who actually truly doesn't think he fits into the vision that he has for this team.
Yeah.
And ultimately that player hasn't been producing, so he's not giving him extra chances. He's going with a player like Derek Ryan, who he likes more. And we may not all see what Derek Ryan brings, but Chris Knobloch sees those things. And so maybe there's just a thing here, which there's always those things. It doesn't matter which coach there is. They have their players that they prefer to put out there on ice. And maybe it's gone to a point where he's now sitting there going like, look, Jeff Skinner's not the guy. I'm going to go with these other guys. Also, I will throw this one out there, Chris Knobloch wise too. He actually has a very good touch when it comes to. We saw in goaltending last year. We've seen it with even some of the playoffs with players. He benches them for a game, sits them for a game, puts them out there, and they produce the next game.
Yeah,
maybe this is just one of those
there,
things where Chris Knobloch has that feel. Maybe this will maybe Jeff Skinner's going to rattle off 7 points in the next 3 games.
He's got the coach's hunch, like he does. And there were certain times last year. Obviously, I did pre and post, and I'd question so many decisions. I'm like, don't know if I like this. They got the Stanley Cup final. They got Ryan McLeod and Corey Perry after being healthy scratched. They slot those two boys on with Leon Draisaitl, and sure enough, they score the first goal in that game. They ended up winning that game, and so he's a really good shot caller. So as much as I disagree with maybe some of these decisions, he's kind of proved me wrong every single time I've disagreed with him. So I do agree with that, but and just one last thing, like if you're gonna. I would have scratched Adam Henrique before I scratched Jeff Skinner. I'm sorry, but that guy's done nothing. Like I haven't seen him on the ice ever. Like I don't know. I just wanted to say that he's done almost nothing.
I do need to throw out K Gill 39 because he's mentioned a few times. Sorry, K Gill, but wanting us to go. He believes give Matt Savoy a chance on the second line. Call him up, put him out there. Also says that believes Arvidsson has claimed a spot in the top 6 and. He's shown it. I just think the sample size fully hasn't been there because of the injury to Arvidsson. But sure, if we want to go top 6, there's that open extra spot.
I think ultimately there has to be something, obviously, and you alluded to it going on behind the scenes. That yes, there's just even if it's just has a hunch, and if it's back checking, if it's his effort, if it's there's something like there's something that we're not really seeing.
The Oil Stream. It is brought to you by Boston Pizza. Feeling the holiday hustle? Celebrate the season with a festive escape at BP. Our holiday menu brings you indulgent dishes, delightful desserts, and holiday-inspired drinks that are perfect for sharing or savoring all to yourself. Treat yourself to a holiday break with flavors that will make every visit feel special. What is on the Boston Pizza holiday menu? And I'm going to make sure I'm on the proper website for this one. Because it already looks amazing just looking at the pictures. Cranberry brie dip. These are some of the things. Braised beef mac and cheese. Oh, yeah. Spicy shrimp fettuccine. Sweet and smoky ravioli. Yes. Pomegranate glazed salmon.
Interesting.
Tour of Italy.
Well, that sounds pretty good.
Ribbon wing duo. Can't go wrong with that type of stuff.
The ribbon winger.
What do you get with this tour
combo?
Of Italy?
Did they bring that back?
Ribbon wing duo. Half a rack of pork back ribs and chicken wings.
That's the starter. And then you also get 2 sides with the garlic toast.
And you could try their new holiday cranberry barbecue sauce.
Oh,
wow, that sounds amazing, actually.
It does.
Tour of Italy. It is fried chicken breast, buttermilk breaded fried chicken breast, topped with a signature Alfredo sauce, Gouda, provolone, pizza mozzarella, and Parmesan cheese.
Ooh.
Served over spaghetti and fettuccine that's absolutely amazing.
That does sound good.
That looks amazing. You get the new holiday menu at Boston Pizza. Matt Iwanyk, YouTube. Trev with you here. Did I have anything else to get to? Anything else? Final thoughts on the weekend? Or
final thoughts?
Look ahead to Utah right now.
Yeah, just look ahead to Utah. I actually don't know their record as of late, but they played the Oilers really good the last time these two. I guess the first time that they ever actually met up.
First and only time.
First and only time. Yep, that is correct.
Considered. 38 points. They were 16, 13, and 6. The Utah Hockey Club. They are just outside the playoff spot, 4 points back of the Vancouver Canucks. They are 6-2-2 in their last 10, having lost 3 straight.
Yeah. Okay, that's good to know. They're a fast team. They're young, and they're kind of exciting to watch. I've tuned in to watch a few of their games, and that's what I've noticed the most. They're young. and they're fast. But with that comes lack of experience and some defensive. I guess they're not good defensively in their own end. So it'll be fun. It should be a good game. You got Dylan Gunther, Clayton Keller, Barrett Hayden, former Team Canada captain of the World Juniors 2020. That'll be a good one. You got Logan Cooley. Yeah, they got some studs on this team. Former Oiler, Nick Bukestad, Michael Kesselring. Yeah, it'll be a good game. I'm looking forward to watching this one. I think the Oilers will be back. It'll be a really good game tomorrow, and I'd be very surprised if they lose. I will, Matty. I really will.
Well, especially after what just happened over the last few days, like that. Well, they should be.
Yeah, they absolutely.
And they're
should.
taking on a team that they should go beat. I'm trying to see if, like, I do believe officially this is viewed as, only one game. They've only played the Utah Hockey Club once.
Yep.
It doesn't count Arizona or Winnipeg or all of that, because I don't know what happens to that history.
Yeah. What does
I think
happen?
it's just defunct.
Yeah, kind of.
So the original Winnipeg Jets is completely gone at this moment.
Yeah.
Like all of that history is now just done. Which actually, then the Winnipeg Jets should be able to go grab that somehow.
They should.
They should be able to add that to their history. But yeah, so the Edmonton Oilers career all time one game against the Utah. They've got the win with a 4-3. So game 2 goes tomorrow.
I tell you what, they kind of put their foot off the pedal in that one. They couldn't score. They couldn't do anything 5-on-5, and they got lucky with a few power play goals. So they're going to have to bring their A game. Just do the exact opposite against the Ducks. And they should be good. Just like that. Should be easy. Just like the
Anaheim Ducks.
Yeah.
Just like the Anaheim Ducks.
Ooh, keep it or clip it.
Let's get to keep it or clip it.
Opposite of the Ducks.
Sorry. And Tommy Gunn's original barbershop. They believe in a great haircut is more than just a quick in and out. It's about the whole experience. That's why they follow the code. Would you like to hear about the code?
Yes.
A commitment to deliver the best barbershop experience every time you visit, from check-in to the finishing touch. Every step is crafted with care. No appointments needed. Just walk in, relax, and they'll take it from there. I've got a mouse, so it's all good for you, Hernan.
It's okay, Hernan.
Tommy Guns, keep it or clip it.
I'm excited. This is my first keep it or clip it ever in my life.
Mine too. I've never done keep it or clip it. Tomorrow, the Edmonton Oilers will wrap up the 2024 calendar year. Today's the last Oil Stream of the noon show. There will be an Oil Stream pre- and post-game show tomorrow. Regardless of the result tomorrow, 2024, it has been a successful year for the Edmonton Oilers. Keep it or clip it. The entire January 1, 2024 through to December 31, 2024.
Can you play Simon and Garfunkel, Hello Darkness, My Old Friend? Unfortunately, the only thing I'll remember... Oh, Gager.
Gager came in without like a bag or anything, or a jacket.
Yeah. He's a cool dude. But unfortunately, Matty, the only thing I will ever remember this year...
2024. The year's just a couple more days. You don't forget the year that quickly.
Well, I was going to say like the 2023-24 season, but then the
But no, we're not counting the 2024.
Yeah.
Or 23. It's January 1, 2024 through to December 31, 2024. Keep it or clip it. The Oilers had a successful calendar year.
The only thing I'll remember for the rest of my life is the Oilers losing in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals. And like
Is that still not a successful year to a degree?
I don't think so.
Okay.
So for that reason,
You're clipping it.
I'm clipping it. I'm clipping that. Yes, like that's going to haunt me for the rest of my life. And if I didn't have to do pre and post, if I didn't have to, do this as for my career, I probably would have disappeared for maybe 2 weeks. That sucked. It was the absolute worst. And having to talk about it the previous days and weeks, and we're still talking about it just sucked. So there's a lot of, with that being said, there's a lot of, positive moments. Obviously, the Oilers tied a franchise record, or they were one shy of beating the all-time record for the longest win streak. That was cool to be a part of. Zach Hyman scoring 50. I mean, he's a 50-goal scorer. Like, that's just crazy to think about, Zach Hyman. So there were some pretty cool moments in this year that I liked. But ultimately, you play to win. You play to win the game. Herm Edwards. And they didn't win. And so for that reason, I'm clipping it, Matty, and it sucks because I want to keep that so bad.
I'm trying to see if I could quickly do.
What do you guys think?
I don't want to say what I just heard Gager say.
What did he say?
I don't want to say it.
Okay, that's fair enough.
He was not happy with a current Oiler player. I just want to see what their record was in 2024. But this comment, Zulu saying, I'd rather lose in the final than never experience it at all. What a damn right it was. Successful year. Buster Tian saying, no. Ask the players if it was successful. Rip City Step, all or nothing for the tube.
All or nothing.
So the year started with an 11-0 record for the Edmonton Oilers. In January, they were undefeated last season, which is like, I forgot about that a little bit. It's ridiculous to think.
They broke the Canadian record and one shy of the Pittsburgh Penguins for longest win streak in NHL history. That was cool to be a part of.
Okay, I'm just quickly trying to rattle off.
And then you
all
guys
these.
went to Vegas and watched them lose.
We got that first loss.
Yeah.
We got that first. I don't know why I'm so excited about saying we got that first loss.
That should have been a controversy of the year.
So the Edmonton Oilers this calendar year, with one game to go.
Tell me. Oh.
If I did my math correctly, which there's a good chance I missed it.
Not including playoffs.
I'm including playoffs.
Matt
Wins
is
and
including
losses.
playoffs.
No preseason. No preseason. I don't. Who cares about preseason?
Yes. Amen.
Preseason sucks. Regular season playoffs. The Edmonton Oilers in 2024 with one game to go. I should actually figure out how many games they played here. The Edmonton Oilers played 109 games, so 110 will be tomorrow in 2024. They won 68. They lost 33, and they lost in overtime 8. So ultimately, if you want to actually break it down, they won 68 games, lost 41 games.
Yeah. Like, it's a successful...
They were 27 games above 500, and that included an appearance in the Stanley Cup final where they got to Game 7. It was an up and down playoffs. The Vancouver series was wild. That down 3-0, getting to Game 7, ultimately losing, though. But 11-0 start to January of the calendar year. To me, whatever happens tomorrow, the Edmonton Oilers had a very successful season.
Yep. And I see both sides, Matty. I really do. You can't not look at that and be like, no, that's not successful. Obviously, the record is successful. But if you back out a little bit, like, did they win everything? No, they didn't. So,
but only one team can say that.
Yeah.
Only one team can say in that calendar year that they won it. So I don't think everyone else had an unsuccessful season. So that's where I'll go with.
Yeah, that's a good
as
point.
long as the Oilers win a cup in the next few years,
Please.
It'll be one of those. It'll be an important season for them to get to that Stanley Cup. Yeah. That's the way I would look at those things.
But I like what he, the one texted in. It was cool to be a part of that, and that's true because I grew up obviously in the decade of darkness. I remember just dreaming and watching for maybe 5-6 years the Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final, just the anthem, or Game 3, the first game in Edmonton, whatever game that was, and just getting goosebumps. And so to be a part of that, that was my dream as a kid, moving to the big city, and to be a part of it, hearing all the stories of my first year here, bartending at Edmonton, just all the regulars coming in and saying, watch out, like, this is going to be special. This is going to be awesome. And it was like, it was really cool to be a part of that. And I'll cherish that for the rest of my life.
It's time to move on the oil stream to something you want to discuss. The World Juniors.
Oh, baby.
Do you want to talk about the World Juniors, or do you want to because you created a top 5 list of World Junior moments?
Yeah, so in any particular order.
Canada plays US tomorrow. That's the big game.
Yes.
That's where, like, I think for a lot of people, like, the marquee New Year's Eve game. It's a huge deal. But continue.
Yes. It is something very fond for me growing up. The World Juniors, I watched this with my dad. Every World Juniors, it was just so fun. And we'd go watch the game in intermissions. We'd play mini sticks, and I'd be like, oh, I'm John Tavares, Jordan Everly, whatever the stories are. This is something that's just near and dear to me, and I love the World Juniors. So that is what we're going to be discussing right now on the Oil Stream. And I kind of wanted to highlight, there's been so many. Maddie, there's been so many. And drop a comment down below, because the first question I have here is, what is your favorite memory in the World Juniors history? It could be something just that you have. Maybe you're at a bar and you met someone that you're watching the game, or it could be part of the game in and of itself. We want to hear. So drop a comment down below in the nasty chat, or you can text us 218-9999. But we're going to start off, we're going to take a few years back here. And this is some of the best, most just cool, amazing upsets, coolest moments, whatever you want to call it. The biggest stories that the World Juniors has ever had. And we're going to start no particular order.
Okay, I was going to say, just double checking.
We're just kind of just riffing these off. Number 1, Canada versus Russia, the brawl in 1987. This was interesting, and you see it every year that the World Juniors come about. The highlights of this amazing fight. That was the fight of the century. It just, no one could stop it, not even the refs. Everyone was fighting everyone. And get this, Maddie, the refs couldn't do anything about it. So what did they do? Do you have a guess?
They joined in.
Nope, that would have been. Could you imagine?
They just started laying some haymakers
you
too.
You know what? This does suck. Yeah, you know what? Okay, that's good. Nope. The whole arena. They lights off. The whole arena goes black. Just nothing. Lights off. And then I actually don't really know. I'm assuming they stopped fighting, but that is being talked about and is still discussed to this day. The 87 brawl, Canada versus Russia. So I wanted to highlight that. That was a good one. That was a classic. I think you were -7 then. You weren't even born then, I believe. Okay, next up, 2011, Canada and Russia playing for gold. Canada is up 3-0.
3-0.
See what I did there? Until the third period, when Kuznetsov, Panarin, Tarasenko, and company helped the Russians in the third period to score 5, not 1, not 2, 5 unanswered goals.
This was in Buffalo too.
To steal the game.
I think Dave Cameron was the coach, was he not?
Sounds right. I think, yeah.
I think he was, and it was like it was Dave Cameron. The criticism was, I think he called the timeout a little late, but when he called the timeout, it looked like he was yelling at the team, and it was like
should have been.
And then one thing that was like said, like it's probably because it was so loud, he was just trying to get his message across, but it just didn't look like a calming message.
Yeah.
As the team was starting to unravel.
Right. Yeah, man. So that was crazy. I remember that very well, and it sucked and it hurt, and it's still to this day. If you're Canadian, yeah, that one hurts.
That one was a tough one.
That was a tough one, but there's still a few more tough ones down the list. But then there's a really good one. You might have a guess. Next up, Canada versus USA, 2007. This was pretty cool. It was iconic. It was the staple of the tournament, and was regarded as one of the best moments of his career. Jonathan Toews scores 3 in a row to send Canada to the semifinal, or to the final, sorry. And that was in a shootout. And it was slick. If you know, you know. Definitely go check it out. It's worth watching.
Okay, before we continue here, what do you make of letting players shoot that have already shot before everyone shoots first? Or shoots once, I should say. Because we saw it again, Canada left, like you have to get through the 5. Once you're through 5, you can pick who you want. What do you make of that?
I'm for it.
Okay.
I like the story. I think it's cool. It's impressive. Like to score 1 by a goalie, yeah, that's cool. But to just fool a goalie 3 times, I'm for it. And I see the sides, like if you're on the other end of the ice and like, oh, that's so unfair. But fortunately, I've never really had to think that much because Canada's always had the better guys. So I am for it. You saw it with, I mean, that was one of the stories as well. TJ Sochi. They call it TJ Sochi for a reason. He did kind of the exact same thing in the Sochi Olympics where he went out there and he just it was cool to watch. As a fan, I love that. I thought it was exciting. I thought it was really cool. So I'm for it, Maddie. Are you?
I like the idea of seeing more shooters go in.
Okay.
I don't know if I like it. Like, I think maybe, I don't think someone should be able to shoot, like Taves hit 3 or whatever that game.
Yep.
I think you should have to hit, like, you could maybe go a second time, but you can't hit a third time before someone hits a first time.
Okay. I can see that. Yeah.
Like, I do, like, there's an entire team here. That's part of the shootout is that you're going with other people. So I don't mind, like, it's a different way of doing it, but I would like to see maybe, okay, like, you get 2 chances.
Yeah.
And then unless everyone's gone once, you don't get a third. Yeah. Now, it shouldn't go that long, but I don't know. That one I'm with.
But then if I had the option just to take out the shootout, ultimately, I would do that as well. Personally.
And I'm glad that the championship's not won that way.
Yes.
So we've hit 3 of them.
Me too. Yes.
2 more. Again, no particular order.
No order here. This is a classic. Canada versus USA. In 2010, Canada down 2. with minutes left. And who else but Mr. World Juniors? Jordan Eberle scoring not once, not twice. Oh, yes. He is not once, but twice to tie things up. And it was beautiful. One-timer that you never saw in the NHL, which was weird, but he ripped it, and it looked great. And all is well, right? Right, Maddie? All is well. Canada has the Americans right where they want them. Until John Carlson shocks the hockey world. He scores short side, and the Americans win gold.
I was in Regina, I believe, and it was on a rush.
Yes, it was.
It was a great play. It was a great back and forth. End result for us sucked.
Yep.
But it was a great result, like a great play, and just that's hockey at its finest.
It is. I mean, you got Pietrangelo who comes down, and you think this is it. Odd man rush. Takes the shot. Americans come the other way. John Carlson. The dagger. It hurts still to this day.
What year again?
That was 2010.
That was 2010.
I was 12.
You were 12.
Yes.
That was their second U.S. title for the Americans. It was Saskatoon and Regina for that one. The final was played, I'm assuming, in Regina. Credit
jerseys.
Union Center. No, it's Saskatoon. The final was played in Saskatoon. Overtime.
Center. The
I miss
green
when I was in those
green
places.
Team Canada jerseys
Yes.
that I liked personally.
I forgot about those.
Thought it was cool, kind of like this color, just with the maple leaf on there.
And it did like it. I forgot the green, but it actually looked pretty cool.
Just because green in Saskatchewan, I think that's their color.
Yeah, but that's not our color.
But that's like because where it is. I don't know. If you know, drop a comment down below. But last but certainly not least, Maddie, care to take a guess?
Jordan Eberle's first goal to save Canada the year prior in 2009.
Yep. 5.4 seconds left on the clock. Jordan Eberle. Can you believe it? Yes, I can.
Just ruined the call. Just ruined the call. Pierre Maguire ran all over Gord Miller.
Coolest moments in hockey history. Best call ever. Just what a great voice, Gord Miller. He absolutely has it. Yes, I can actually. No. He just ruined it. He honestly, if you watch the goal, just mute it after he scores, because Maguire just absolutely butchers that. But Eberle then scored in the shootout to win the game. Canada would then go on to beat the Swedes in the final to win the gold.
I told Trev this prior. I have my confession to make on that goal. I did not watch the goal be scored. I have a thing about not watching my teams lose. It's not that I'm giving up. I just don't want to see those final seconds. It just hurts too much. I walked away in 06 as the Oilers were about to lose. I think there was an empty netter about to be scored or something, and I just walked away. I was watching with my brother. I walked out of the room into the next room, and then my brother started cheering. And I came running back in, and I couldn't believe that Canada had tied that up.
Yes.
Again, I'm not giving up on my teams. I just can't watch the devastation. Like, I'm hurt for them and for me, and I don't want to see the final result.
Yes.
I don't need that. I want to walk away as close to 0.0 as I can. I walked a little too soon on that one. So I never actually saw the Jordan
Butterfly effect. Who knows? If you don't leave the room, they never tie it up.
That's 100%.
Yeah, I believe in that. I believe in that.
I actually do too.
Firm believer in that. But that
I'm not going to go with "You're welcome, Canada."
You're welcome.
But it's one of those. If I go back, I wouldn't want to change it because I wouldn't want to mess with that.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch that one either. So it's kind of those "where were you" moments, as Maddie just said, and those I love. I was at a Pizza Hut. We just finished a game. I was in Pee Wee, I believe.
A sit-down Pizza Hut.
Yep.
I miss those.
Yep. Apparently, yeah. Is that not a thing anymore? Because
not here. The last one, or one of the last ones I know of, are closed on the West End. Dusty and Eric, would you go for a lunch after the show every so often?
I've heard stories of that, but yeah, I don't know. We have a Pizza Hut back home, and what better place to celebrate? Go to Pizza Hut. So that's exactly what we did, and it was a tournament we had. All the teams that were in this tournament were there, and we were just kind of maybe crying. I don't know, but then those tears turned into tears of joy as Canada tied it up, and it was just awesome to see. So I wanted to highlight those. Where were you when Jordan Eberle scored the goal? And also it leads to my next question.
Solid list. I will just quickly say that there.
Oh, and I do have an honorable mention.
James B saying, good picks. I remember the 09 goal.
Unreal game. And then probably the most recent case of just, whoa, Connor Bedard in OT. Just absolutely the heartbreaker, the absolute dangle. I was working, I was bartending that one. The whole bar just erupt. It was just so cool to be a part of. But I just want to finish with this, man.
Go to the question.
This leads to my next question. Who is Canada's biggest rival in international hockey? Right now.
You're going right now.
I'm going right now, not historically, right now.
And I say this not because of they're not playing. I think even if Russia was playing, our biggest rival is the U.S.
Yeah.
I think that's the one. We don't want to lose to the U.S. We don't want to lose to the Americans. It's that, big brother, little brother situation here. And in hockey, we're the big brother, but overall in sports in general, America's the big brother, we're the little brother. And America's gotten good at hockey, good enough that it's an actual challenge. Whereas Russia, Canada, it's a long history. There's been great battles that have been had. Ultimately, the big one, 72. But I could handle losing to Russia more than I could handle losing to the U.S. I think.
Yeah.
Taking the political stuff aside. Politically aside, if Canada takes on Russia, I obviously want them to dominate for other reasons as well on that. But if we're talking strictly hockey, I think Canada-U.S. is the bigger rivalry.
Yeah. That's fair, Matty. Zulu in the nasty chat. Latvia now. LOL. Haha.
Actually, Latvia plays Canada rather well.
Yeah.
They're the one. Latvia gave Canada the toughest run in 2014. Last time the NHLers played at the Olympics. Yeah. Canada went to a shootout in that one, I think, against Latvia. They were the toughest competition for Canada.
Yeah.
2-1. No, so it was just regulation, but it was a 2-1 win. Canada barely getting by Latvia.
Yeah.
It was a tough game. I was nervous.
Yeah, I remember that actually. Yeah, they've always played Canada well, which is kind of interesting. But for me personally, I think I got to side with you. I hate losing to both. And the team, Russia, when they lost to them growing up, I remember just some of the news stories. It was they were saying some pretty vulgar things, and I'm just like, so they're kind of sore winners, and that ticks me off. But I don't think I've ever been more ticked losing in international hockey than 2020 when you had one of the most, Team Canada that year had the most first round picks in any team in World Juniors history. Like it was a stacked team, and they were the favorites. And then Trevor Zegras scored, and they ultimately lost. So I would have to go with losing to the Americans. I think that's their biggest rival, and I hate losing to them more than anyone.
I don't think the Russians are that good anymore. Like fully, maybe more recently. Maybe if they actually had a team in the Four Nations and they were in, maybe things would be different. But go look at the last few Olympics that they had the Russians in it. Yeah. That with NHLers. It wasn't. Canada played them in 2010. And what happened in 2010? It was high anticipation, but Canada dominated, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
At the 2010 Olympics.
Yep.
And
Ovechkin was very upset, and he broke someone's camera or phone.
Because Canada got Germany, 7-3 over Russia.
Yeah.
Just dominated them. In 2014, how did Russia do there? They were 1-1-1, and they didn't qualify for... Oh, they beat Norway, then lost Finland 3-1. Didn't even get to the semifinals.
Yeah.
To me, maybe I'm just with that, the last few times we saw best on best. Oh, I guess the World Cup of 2016.
Yeah.
What happened there?
Russia's having a hard time keeping up with the development of America, the Canadians, and I'd even say Finland and Sweden. Aside from Matvei Michkov and Kaprizov, that's really the only two good Russian studs that have came into the league within the last 4 years. But you look at America, you look at Canada, Sweden even, and they've been able to develop a lot more players. So
Canada, Russia at the World Cup in 2016 semifinals. Canada's up 1-0. They gave up 2 goals to the Russians. Canada rattled off 4 goals.
Yeah,
they won 5-3. They gave up a 3rd goal to Russia with 9 seconds left in the game when it was over. So really a 5-2 hockey game. So it's going late in that 3rd period. It's almost not in doubt type thing. So that's where I don't feel that rivalry with Russia anymore. I do feel it with the U.S.
Yeah, I agree. I would have to agree there. Matt Iwanyk.
YouTube Trev? Or Tube?
What's up?
This was fun.
That was Coob. Coob in the corner. You know what, Matty? I have to agree. I thought this was a lot of fun, and I want to thank all the nasties who are listening today, and drop a comment down below. Leave a like, and if you're listening later, I've always loved this. If you're listening later, wherever you are, I love you.
Well done. Well said. Fun day so far here on Edmonton Sports Talk. The fun's going to continue. We got EST Afternoons up next with Hernan, Gager, and Zach. Hernan, what's on the show today?
Well, I guess I know. I'm right here.
Zach's
we'll have
here. I didn't know if you
Andy
knew.
McNamara from the Sick
Sorry to
podcast
interrupt.
coming up. Highlights, lowlights, of course, Oilers and NHL talk. And, of course, just recapping the previous 2 games, 2 Oilers losses. So lots coming up.
Hernan's going to break down how the Oilers don't have a second line, courtesy of Reed Wilkins. I didn't hear anything in there about the Pop-Tarts Bowl. So, just
It
throwing that out
Pop-Tart.
there. Cool, Niners tonight. Pop-Tart Bowl. Pop-Tart Bowl. Reed Wilkins show with Jameson coming up at 3 to 6 right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. That will wrap up the Oil Stream presented by Boston Pizza. On behalf of Hernan and Zach, who did great jobs. Great work behind the camera. On behalf of YouTube, Trev, this was fun. Matt Iwanyk, thanks for tuning in. Trev and I will talk to you next tomorrow morning, bright and early, 6 o'clock. It is the Nielson Show with Lieutenant Eric. Without Dustin Nielson or Lieutenant Eric, it's myself, it's Dave Jameson, it's YouTube, Trev. We will talk to you tomorrow at 6 o'clock, but up next, EST Afternoons with Hernan, Gager, and Zach right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton Sports. Don't go anywhere.